Tim Daniels is here. He's hanging out in Florence, Italy, because he is cooler than you. I was at a lake the last week, as you know, Timmy, and I don't normally every day. Of course, I check my sleep. There were a couple days, Fredsy. I had 8.5. I had 8.5 hours of sleep, and I didn't know who I was.
Oh, you're a layabout, Howard. A layabout. Mm-hmm.
What do you, Daniels? You got like 9 companies. You're, Healthgauge is just one of them. But what time do you? How many hours of sleep do you make yourself get?
Yeah, and unfortunately, and this is one area where I fall way short. My average night is about 5.5 hours. And it's because, my North American workday usually doesn't end until about 11 o'clock at night, and my time, which is, mid-afternoon and back in North America. And then by the time I, watch a little news, have a snack or whatever and get to bed, it's well after midnight, and I'm up by 5:30 in the morning.
So even of that 5.5 hours, you're not asleep the whole 5.5 hours either. So the actual sleep time would be less.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You can function on that 5-6 days a week.
Wow. I've somehow I've kind of grown accustomed to it.
Yeah,
right.
For me, the sweet spot is about 7 hours. If I can get that, I'm golden. But it just doesn't happen anymore. I just always one thing or another. And as soon as I wake up, the head's right into whatever I've got to get done that day. And so it's just, unfortunately, I know everything you read about, good health protocols includes, a solid 7-8 hours a night. And I'm just, that's one area where I absolutely fall short.
For years, I was in the 5.5, maybe 6, because I used to get up at 3:30 in the morning to go to work every day, 3:30, 3:45, and it disrupted. Well, and Fred and I both did it for a large portion of our adult lives, like 30 plus years, where you go to bed. I could never get to sleep before 10, and rarely would sleep right till 3:30. And since we've started doing the show in this version 10 years ago, we get a little bit more. We're never getting up at 3:45 again to do our job, but it does take its toll on your ability to stay asleep. But guys like you are sort of legendary in terms of their lack of sleep. And I was going to say, one of Tim's companies isn't the mining company based in Victoria or Vancouver?
Yeah. That's right.
So you're dealing with them. So even further, it's 9 hours difference.
Yeah, that's right. So I've got consultants that work for me in Australia at one end of the world, and I've got my headquarters in Victoria on the other end of the world. And so every time, it doesn't matter what time of the day or night it is, somebody somewhere in the world is trying to reach me over something. So,
right.
So it's just the way it is. So I've really grown accustomed to grabbing some sleep when I can, and learning to do with less, which, like I said, the health experts say that's not great. And this really, helps out with respect to understanding of that 5.5 hours sleep. How many of it is really restful? Like you said, Fred, it's not like just because you're laying down for 5 hours or 5.5 or 7 hours that it's all, a deep, restful, recuperative sleep. It's not. There's a good portion of it that you're tossing and turning, and this gives you some feedback on that, but what you're doing well, what you can improve upon, and look at some little life hacks to improve your sleep patterns.
One of the things that I'm never sure of, and I don't know if this is typical of me or just the way most people's sleep is, because I had a pretty good sleep last night, but it's never the proportion of deep sleep to light sleep is always way off. Like, is that what it's like for you, Fred? It's like last night I had 1.9 of deep and 5.1 of light. It's never, my deep sleep cycle is always sort of pretty short.
But I looked into that, remember, and you should run about 25% deep.
Oh, okay. So it's a typical night.
Yeah, you're sort of on track. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's I was going to say, Howard, that's about the best I get as well is, 20-25% deep sleep, and the rest there's either, a cat jumping on my head, or I'm getting up in the middle of the night to pee once again, and so yeah, it's definitely not. I've never come close to half the night deep sleep. Just
I have a Healthgauge. By the way, we're talking to Tim Daniels, a Healthgauge, just because he lives in Florence and he's cooler than everybody. He's still a regular guy. We know each other because he grew up in Moose Jaw, but look how well he's done. I have a Healthgauge story. So I was at the lake and we're staying in this really nice cottage, but and at night at the cottage, of course, it's super dark. And I had to get up to go to the washroom, and I didn't know where the light was, and I didn't want to disturb Rachel. It's a true story. So I turned my watch on as a beam. I did. I felt like I felt like Batman. I was like, oh shit, I can find my way to the can now using the light from my Healthgauge.
Well, here's kind of a fun use of it, because Fred, you pointed out one of the real important and serious uses where the unit's giving you some immediate feedback and helps you do something in that moment to address something going on. You were talking about you're on the golf course, it was a hot day, you're feeling a little overheated, you checked your blood pressure was up, your temperature was up, so you did the wise thing, you sat out a hole and got things under control. And that's exactly what the watch is made to do. But here's kind of a fun thing. On the weekend, I went up into northern Italy to a place called Trentino, and it's up in the mountains, and it's famous for the paragliding, hang gliding, that sort of thing. And I took a paragliding course for the weekend, and really a lot of fun. I just loved it. I really got hooked on that.
Is there an engine on that? Okay, go ahead.
No, it's not. No, it's like the big wing, and you're free flying down the mountain. No. And as I was waiting for my instructor to join me at the top of the gondola, I felt relaxed. I didn't think that, I didn't feel stressed out, but I thought, hey, let's see if my body and my mind are in sync, because mentally I was, this is going to be fun. I'm relaxed. I'm looking forward to it, but how does my body feel about this experience? So check the Healthgauge to see, where my body readings were at, just to see if they were in sync with my mind. And they were. My heart rate was like 55. My blood pressure was 105/70. So I
was this your first time? Was this your first time doing it?
Yeah, this is my first time doing it.
So you do a tandem jump with an instructor?
Exactly. Yeah.
How was it?
And I fell in love with it. I could get hooked on that so easily. Really,
because I don't know if that were me, Fred, I'd have to check to see if the Healthgauge had a thing where it said you're shitting your pants right now. You are. It seems the watch is like, it seems you're shitting your pants.
Well, I did notice though that when we touched down at the ground, way down the valley, a couple thousand meters below where we started, I looked again just to see what my heart rate was, and it was about, I think, 74 or something, which for me means it was obviously got a little bit anxious during the trip down. So
Tim, before you sign up and bark, do you check out the probability of accidents and something like that? Because I don't. And it was funny you bring that up, because it was as we were sitting down having a beer after the fact, one of my friends was saying, did you know that yesterday when we were supposed to go up and my instructor bailed because he said, the conditions aren't quite right. There was a crash the day before. There was a girl, 13-year-old girl with an instructor, and they didn't work out so well for them. And then I was starting to read all the accidents that there had been for the last year or two. I said, holy shit, what am I doing that now and not before the fact?
Can you just do us a favor until this sponsorship thing runs its course? Can you just be careful? Tim Daniels wants you to get a watch. Healthgauge.com. Put in the promo code HumbleFredHG, and that gets you 15 points off the Healthgauge Phoenix, which we're all wearing. Tim Daniels, until next time, my friend. Stay safe and well. Thank you, my brother.